constrictors. She's sometimes called a corn snake because if you look at her tummy, you'll see that it looks like Indian corn. Yeah, sometimes she's called the piano snake too, for the same reason. And farmers like to have these snakes around because guess what they like to eat? That's right. And if the farmers have these snakes around, they'll eat the rats instead of the rats eating the farmer's corn. And this is the smallest owl that lives in the Alabama forest. But we're not going to be able to touch her. I'm not even touching her, am I? I've got a glove on. No. This little owl is called an eastern screech owl. This owl is a raptor, just like the velociraptors were.
Now I'm going to tell y'all a couple of lies, and then you know what's going to happen? Y'all are going to have to tell me one back. You think you can handle that? You know, I finally decided that I was going to get even with those squirrels for my cat. I saw one of these guys with these silly umbrella hats. You might have seen some of those today. Got one and I modified it. I flipped it up. And I went out there and I taunted those squirrels. You know what it means to taunt somebody? Say things to make them really mad. I went out there and I said things like, your mama wears climbing boots and your daddy was a chipmunk. You know, things really offensive to a squirrel. Well, I kicked the squirrel's pelt to me with so many pecans. I filled up 52 bushel barrels. I baked over 1,000 pies. And I won pie baking contests in 54 states and the District of Columbia. My granddad was not a man you said no to. He was a big man, really tall man. And he had to wait for a good crescent moon to get a decent part in his hair.
You know, this is tough following Verna because, you know, Verna told you she's a liar. How do we know? Isn't that the one thing you can never be sure of? Is a liar's telling you she's won awards for lying?
My catfish had a real smart look on his face. Real smart look on his face. I decided to put him in a big old bucket of water. And at night I'd slip out when he was sleeping, you know, and I'd dip some water out from him. Dip some water out. Sure, pretty soon he was looking dry as a bone in the bottom of that bucket, and I let him out. You'd think a creature like that would be clumsy on the earth, don't you? He could shimmy up a tree and come down with his fins full of feathers. And catfish.
The sign said, do not feed the alligators. Underneath, someone had taken a Sharpie and written, your leg. Do not feed the alligators your leg. Good advice. I spent a little time on the internet trying to find out about the national forest before our trip. And I knew I had way too much information when I found out about the man who had his leg ripped off by an alligator at the Open Pine Recreation Area. Everything you read about alligators tells you something like attacks on humans are rare. I'm sure that's what the one-legged man thought.